Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about the leftists of Twitter, specifically one in particular being that jackass guy. I don't even know if he's from Alabama or not, but he was the guy who we got into it earlier on Twitter with, who is now trying to accuse us of being a bot account, by the way. And you know what, Ford? You can go fuck yourself, you fucking cunt. We are not a bot account. It is literally me that's the one doing most of the tweeting on the account, you fucking ass clown. And the reason why I blocked your stupid fucking ass, dude, is because you're a leftist sack of shit like most of them who wants to sit there and put your leftist hive mind bullshit into fake fucking stats and everything else like that, which I called your ass out on in the last 10 minutes, by the way, on Twitter. And then sit there and act like, oh, I'm going to play the fucking like, seriously. We're going to show the fucking tweet here in a minute is what it is. This fucking guy, mind you, this whole time, by the way, I asked this man twice in the back and forth that he and I had today. I said, specifically, never said a word about race either, by the way, on that one. I never said a fucking word about race during any of that shit. What I asked him specifically was, I said, how many Democrat cities are in the state of Alabama? That was the fucking question I asked the man. And he couldn't give me a straight fucking answer. Because that's what they do, dude. They always distract and stuff like that. And then when he came up with some bullshit fucking stat about the General Assembly of Alabama instead, and then came back later and was like, oh, I answered your question. You just didn't like the answer I gave. No, I'm calling your ass out, dude, because you gave a fucking bullshit answer because you're a gaslighting fuckboy, just like most of these cocksuckers on the fucking left, dude. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if your ass is a fucking verified bot account, dude. Like, that's the thing. When you look at this fucking dude, by the way, we're going to show who we're talking about here. We're talking about this fucking retarded ass clown right here is what it is. This fucking guy right here. This Ford Jonathan 5 is what his handle is there. And yeah, supposedly a verified account there with like 52,000 followers, which again, it's not that hard to get him when you're a leftist toolbox is what it is, bro. But then going down to what we're like, his tweets are obviously all about like, it's basically Democrat stuff, dude. It's like Democratic, like anti-Republican shit is what it is all the way around, is what it is, dude. And then going down to, where are we now? Right here. And he's trying, I think he's saying I'm 76% problematic as my account is what it is. I have no idea how to look it up, but as well as what it is. You can even see when you look at my thing though, right? It says right there, Constitutional Rights, Second Amendment Education Organization, teaching basic and advanced firearms education and constitutional rights courses, which is what we do, by the way, here. And then he said they always block me. Yeah, we always block you because, first of all, dude, I have better things to do with my time than dick around with some leftist dipshit like you on Twitter for the next 4 fucking hours of my life, dude. I'm like, you're a dumbass, who probably is a bot for that matter, who's just going to sit there and bot back bullshit is what it is, dude. While I'm an actual human being sending real replies to your dumbass is what it is. Not to mention, usually my thing with my high-functioning autism is that I don't fucking like to deal with people for a long time is what it is, man. And when you're just sending BS fucking stats that I've now called out in the last grandstand, by the way, when I called out your top 10 state thing, where it was all Democrat-run cities in those states, by the way, when you actually look at the full article of it, and not just the fucking meme stat thing is what it is for it. Yeah, we're just done with you is what it is, dude. We're done with you. That's why we called you out on it. And we're just sick and tired of y'all is what it is, man. The entire point is we weren't trying to have a back and forth, dude. We were asking, seriously, the back and forth could have gone like this. You say your thing over there underneath the KIV hashtag today. I call you, I say to you what I said to you about, you know, how many of these cities in Alabama are Democrat run, etc. You respond back, oh, it's 5 people or whatever the case be out of like 20 cities or something like that. It could have been that simple, dude. It could have been that simple. That would have been the interaction we had together with each other today. We could have gone both our separate ways at that time. But no, because of your dumb ass, now you got me fucking pissed, bro. Now you got me real fucking pissed. And now I've done multiple episodes involving your dumb ass now. Just because I don't have anything better to do right now, honestly, truthfully speaking. Like I did earlier, but now I don't, is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time here and bitch at this guy. Because fuck him is what it is, dude. This is the problem with the leftist hive mind of social media sites is what it is, dude. It's people that never really want to have an actual debate with you and want to sit there and basically throw fake facts at you and act like they're winning debates that aren't even debates is what it is. It's you having a back and forth conversation that then degrades very quickly into, okay, now I see this guy's a fucking leftist turd burglar. I'm going to get the fuck out of here now because I'm sick and tired of his ass. Yeah, I'm going to either mute the conversation or I'm just going to block you outright is what it is, dude. Why the fuck wouldn't I? And I guarantee you that's what everybody else has done too at this point that's blocked his ass in the past, dude, because they're just sick and tired of him is what it is. And I don't blame him either, dude, because the guy looks like a fucking asshole. He seems like a fucking asshole. And honestly, from what I've personally interacted with some of these people in real life, dude, like they're not worth carrying conversations on with, is what it is. Because they're always going to make it about, and again, it goes back to the old Democrat fucking thing, is what it is, dude. They're always going to make it about race or something else for that matter. And even going back to what I was saying earlier about the race thing there, mind you, at that point in time, the interaction I had with this man, I never once mentioned race at all in that. I specifically said how many cities, major cities in Alabama are run by Democrats. That was what I was looking for, period. And what does he do further down? Talks about race right here. Yeah. Okay, so I was saying about, I think this is one, where right now. Let's see if I can go to that right now. Okay, I don't even know if it's on there or not. Okay, where are we at now? Yeah, okay, this is the question I said here. I said, you still haven't answered my question. The question asked was how many of those firearms deaths, mind you, this was him talking about, okay. Okay, I'm going to try and view the original one here then. Okay, here we go. This is the original, this is where we originally got in here today from this whole thing right here. So he said, this was from him responding to KIV tweeting on Twitter there. He said, Alabama has the 5th highest in gun-related deaths. Governor KIV is soft on crime, responding back to KIV's tweet about, violent crime having no business in Alabama, stuff like that. And my original response was, and how many of those, meaning firearms death, are by suicide, and how many are from Democrat-run major cities? To which he never responded back. His original response was this bullshit right here, talking about the General Assembly. And then my response again was, you still didn't answer my question. The question asked was how many of those firearms deaths are by suicide and how many happened in Alabama major cities run by Democrat mayors. Nothing about race whatsoever. But yet, what does he try to do? Claims, I have repeatedly answered your question. I'm sorry I'm not going to make it about race like your racism wants me to. You're the only one making it about race, you fucking douchebag. Literally, bro. And then you want to sit there and talk about Republicans being in charge of 8 of 10 most dangerous cities in America, or sorry, most dangerous states in America, yet never mention that the statistic that you're making up there, or bringing up there, is from legitimately something I mentioned earlier today, which was, let's see if I can find it again here real quick. The thing I mentioned in the last episode, which is, shit, where did I go now? I'm sorry, it's taking me a minute to get this now. Let's see here now. Yeah, it was from this other tweet here, or not this tweet here, this other article here that I had mentioned in the previous Grandstand, being the Google search done by the 10 most violent cities in America, whatever. And it was specifically this right here that was showing these. And this is what he used, by the way. He basically copy and pasted this piece of it right here. And actually, I think you can just tweet that's what it is. But yeah, he basically tweeted this back to me. It was the 10 most dangerous cities in America and had the list of 1 to 10 is what it was. By the way, that is a Democrat-run city right there, Michigan. Or not Democrat-run state and stuff like that. But then you actually look down further into it and you start reading this stuff and it's talking about Alaska's crime rate and stuff like that. And then it's talking about New Mexico's crime rate and stuff like that. And, various crimes that are committed in those states like that, or Tennessee or any of these other states like that. And then specifically, when you actually start looking into places like Louisiana, it talks about the Democrat-run cities being, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, etc. Or it's like Missouri, where it talks about St. Louis Again, a leftist hellhole is what it is there. But that's the thing. They never want to talk about that, dude. What these Democrats will do is they'll always make it about race is what it is, because they're the fucking racists. They are the fucking pieces of shit in this country who literally created the fucking KKK back in the day, and then in 2014 created fucking BLM, the fucking black clan with a fucking tan, dude. And that's the entire point of the matter. They've created 2 fucking terrorist organizations in this country that were both race-based. And yet they want to talk about everybody else being the racist. No, you're the fucking racist, you fucking cunt. And that's the entire point of the matter, buddy. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm just so sick and tired of these fucking people, dude, is what it is. Let's see now. Jesus. One of the other fucking things this moron said back to me on one of his other dumbass tweets here, claimed legally owned firearms aren't in question. The majority are. The issue is how easily in red states it is to purchase those firearms. You must be new at this. No, I've been around for about 4 years, dumbass, and it was people like me stopping people like you from enacting gun control in our states because you try to use massacres, like the fucking Dayton massacre, to push for more gun control, because you're nothing more than a goddamn fascist fuck dude who wants to have communism up in America and put people like me up against a fucking wall, and the only thing stopping you from doing so is us being fucking armed against your tyranny, and your tyrant fucking bullshit, buddy. So fuck you, dude. Just so fucking retarded, dude. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just pretty sick and tired of it, man. I felt the need, though, to do that, though, by the way, just because it's like, sometimes you just get set off is what it is, dude. And this is what I'm saying. Like, honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth right now, man. Like, most of the time, I'll ignore shit like that, is what it is, man. Like, if I go over to like something on Twitter there or whatever the case being, it's like some trending topic or whatever, and I see it's like a bunch of anti-gunners and stuff like that bitching about like guns and stuff like that, or trying to blame the gun and stuff like that, so that criminals what it is, I'll usually ignore it. But when they like blatantly put out lies and stuff like that, dude, like I'm gonna call them out on that's what it is. And like I've said before, I'm not a fucking fan of the Republican Party either, dude. I think we have a bullshit 2-party system in this country. And if I had it my way, we would have at least 50 parties in every single primary across the country right now, dude. Because you'd actually have people that would be running what they actually are. And if that means they're running under a communist party, or they're running under a fascist party, or they're running under a fucking constitutionalist party, or an internet libertarian party, or green party, whatever the case, it doesn't matter, The entire point is, at least you know what they fucking are. What they're running under is what it is. And what their real ideals really are is what it is. But that's the problem right now. It's these people that want to sit there and want to bitch and moan and throw out the race card. Because the thing too, by the way, this is the one thing I've noticed in the last, basically decade or so of my life, when it comes to any leftist in this country. Every single time that they know that they've lost a fucking argument, just like this asshole Ford right here, they will always play the fucking race card, dude. Every single time. Because they know they have no actual cards in their deck. They know they have no actual argument to back up their BS is what it is. And so they'll sit there and try to play the fucking race card and be like, oh, you're a racist. Because it's like, they're basically trying to throw water on you is what it is at that point, to shut down your argument is what it is, dude. Your real argument. that actually has based evidence and facts behind it is what it is. Not realizing that, no, dude, I'm going to deny your fucking racist bullshit is what it is, dude. If anybody's the fucking racist, you're the fucking racist asshole here, dipshit. Because you're the one that makes it about race. Not once in my interaction to you did I ever make it about race. I asked you a simple question that should have had a simple answer to it. And yet you tried to make it some convoluted things because you hate the Republican Party, buddy. Because you are so indoctrinated and so far up Biden and Kamala's asses at this point, and every other fucking Democrat in this country, that is snowing you towards your own demise, that you're not smart enough to actually see the demo side right in fucking front of you, buddy. And that is what fucking fires me up in this fight for constitutional rights in this country, in this continued fight in support of our Second Amendment, is fucking douchebags like this Ford guy. Because they are so fucking dumb. They are lemmings being let off a fucking cliff that don't understand the only thing between demo side and them is people like myself who are willing to fight to keep the Constitution intact. And it's when people like me and others out there that don't exist anymore is when they're going to be these leftists are going to be the next group came for after that, man. You know, it goes back to the whole thing that old saying about, you know, first they came for X and then Y and then Z, etc. And I said nothing. And when they came for me, there was nobody left to say anything. It always goes back to that, dude. It's like first they came for this person or that group or this group. And I said nothing. And then they came for that group and I said nothing. And then they came for that group and I said nothing. And then they came for me and there was nobody left to say anything. And that's the problem right now. That is the political divide we have in this nation right now in 2023, dude. Where we can't have basic, simple conversations where I'm asking you a basic fucking question. Actually, two basic fucking questions. How many of Alabama's firearms deaths are by suicide? And how many are done in major Democrat-run cities? He could not give me those stats. He could have just fucking gave me two stats and I would have been like, cool, thanks, later. And that would have been the end of our conversation. But that's the problem, dude. These people never have that evidence because they always want to make it about other things. They never have actual evidence to back up their arguments because their arguments are nothing more than a bunch of straw man bullshit. And I'm fucking sick and tired of it. You want to have a real argument, dude? Make a fucking steel man. And make me have to break through that steel man. And there's no way that I could. Because it's such a good argument. And it's such a good, validated argument with actual evidence and facts behind it. But you can never do that. Because again, you're just some fucking leftist troll on Twitter that for some reason has 50-something thousand followers. And it really does make me wonder. It's like, are people just buying followers on these sites now? I think they probably are, honestly, at this point, to be honest with you, man. Although that being said, I mean, the Democrat Party is pretty much lemming, so you never know, man. If you want to keep living, again, that's the problem I've had with Reddit in the past as well, dude. When you have these echo chambers like that and these sites and stuff like that, man, you have these companies, these social media companies who have divided, again, it's government run shit too, by the way, dude. It's government colluding stuff, you know, FBI, etc., colluding with these social media companies to continue to politically divide American people is what it is, dude, because they understand if they keep us politically divided, we can never. Sorry, internet down on me on there. As I was saying, the whole entire point is you have these social media companies being colluded with the fucking federal agents and stuff like that, FBI, etc., who are trying to keep us politically divided so that we can never come together and fight the true enemy, which is a tyrannical government. Period. End of story. And the crazy part is how many people who helped lock America down for over a year of our lives back in 2020 based on some bullshit that's been proven to be bullshit at this point How many of those people are still in power, dude? A lot of them. A lot of them, actually. Shit, even Kay Ivey was a sitting governor back then, dude. She's still in office now. She locked Alabama down. Mike DeWine, who I fucking hate with a passion, locked Ohio down, 442 days of tyranny, dude. Was never removed as governor. And why was that? Because Nan Whaley, who was Dayton Merritt at the time, turned over for governor as a Democrat, was a fucking psychotic lunatic, and they didn't allow anybody else to actually have their name be put on the ballot. So it was either a fucking psychotic, leftist, anti-gun, anti-life lunatic in Nan Whaley, or the asshole who put you under fucking a year and a half of tyranny of your lives and basically stopped you from seeing your uncle for the last year of your life, which is in my case. My uncle died during that time over some stuff. I'm not going to get into that talk, but you know what it's from, man. It was from the. But anyway, the entire point I'm trying to make is, though, DeWine won because of that, is what it was, dude. And I guarantee Kay Ivey won because of that as well in that one, because it was probably some psychotic leftist loon that she was going up against in Alabama there. And we don't have third-party candidates on the ballot. People are never going to be able to vote for these people. Or you have write-in people on the ballot, but they're not named on the fucking ballots. You can't exactly, pick those in a fucking thing. You have to write them in. And nobody ever knows who the fuck to write in is what it is, or knows how to even write them in half the time is what it is, because these fucking bullshit-ass digital balloting and stuff like that, dude, is what it is. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of crap entirely. And then, of course, you had people like Kathy Hochul, who was the lieutenant governor of New York at the time, who's now governor of New York. She fucking got reelected then after taking over for Cuomo, who left after they were both involved in a whole bunch of mass murder there in New York, is what it was. So, yeah. Anyway, it does kind of make me wonder, though, right? Because that Ford guy he was mentioning about, like, New York didn't make the top 10 or whatever, that list for the deadliest cities or whatever there. It makes me wonder, though, right? Who is writing that article, though, that was behind that top 10 is what it was, dude? And how do they do their actual statistics of top 10 then? Because you know for a fact that New York is definitely has to be on that thing. Or it could, actually, now I think about it, maybe it possibly is because of the fact that with New York's bail reform and stuff, people who are violent criminals and repeat offenders and stuff like that, the crime rates are not actually labeled for New York, specifically New York City is what it would be then, simply because of the fact that you have them be arrested by the cops there, the NYPD and stuff like that, and then being immediately released back on the streets again, like, a half hour later, whatever it is then, without actually being charged with, aggravated assault or robbery or rape or whatever the case be, or, beating up some old woman, or, stealing a bunch of shit from clothing stores and stuff like that, etc. Or, high-end bags from like a boutique or something like that, like Louis Vuitton place or something like that, or maybe like some phones from a phone store or something, maybe that's what the reasoning is, because they're just never caught, or they're never actually booked into prison and stuff like that, or jail or whatever it is then. So you don't have those crime stats would be then for that. And that would make sense, honestly, for that one. I think about that more and more. So anyway, again, autism. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to remember shit like that is what it is. Especially when I'm tired, which I am right now. So anywho, but yeah, the entire point of the matter is, though, it's a bunch of shit, dude, entirely. Like, this dude's entire argument is like null and void on the spot, pretty much. It is him just trying to blame the Republican Party for something that most likely, from my own research here, happened in a Democrat-run city and was most likely a gang-involved shooting, is what it is. That unfortunately took the life of a prospect for one of the local colleges there. And also, who's to say if his mom's not going to, lose her life in that situation from her gunshot wounds and stuff. So it's just sad, man. It really is. And then to sit there and try to make it about race and stuff like that, or try to claim I tried to make it about race when I never did, when I was simply asking you a question about things. It just proves who the real racist is in that situation, and it's this leftist guy named Ford. And it always is, dude. It's always these leftist people that it doesn't matter what it is, dude. It's like, basically, if you look at what the Democrat Party originally was about, dude, and stuff like that, it was supposed to be about like workers' rights and shit like that. what it is now in 2023 is it's basically race, victimhood, sexual ideology, indoctrination, etc., etc. Like that's what their fucking party ideals are now in 2023 right now. And it's basically if you're a straight white male specifically is what it is, which by the way, I will never use the fucking term cisgender simply because of outside of that one is what it is, simply because of the fact that that fucking terminology from my own research basically comes from something back in the day that is very much an insult to straight people is what it is, dude. It would basically be calling us an F and ending with a T is what it is as a straight man or a straight person, straight chick, whatever it is. So yeah, basically going back to what I was saying though, when it comes to the leftist victim mentality stuff, dude, if you are a straight white male, you're on the bottom of the fucking totem pole. And if you are anybody else, you're way higher at the top is what it is, or going towards the top is what it is. And like if you're some minority or whatever the case be, or you're like some transgender minority, it's like whoop, right to the top. So, you know, it's like that one teacher said a while ago, if I'm not mistaken, she was I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what state she was from now. I want to say maybe it was Alabama, but I'm not sure on that one. But yeah, it was a Breitbart video showing that time on this channel, and it was this woman who I believe that she was an educator in one of the local public education schools there in that state or whatever, and she was discussing about how all these young white girls now are basically being forced to have an oppression is what it is, or being like forced oppressed is what it is, because they are basically forcing this victim mentality is what it ends up being when they don't actually have any victimhood status. So they're like they're basically having the leftist ideology turn them into trans men. That is what it is. So it's very pathetic and disgusting. And it's just a sad situation all the way around is what it is. And it's the same thing with all these kids, man. When you have these people just indoctrinating them into just this garbage is what it is. And then pushing this anti-white racism on everybody is what it ends up being then. And then you basically are creating, you know, these incidents at these schools. Like there was that one in, I think it was Springfield, Ohio, or maybe it was Hudson, Ohio. I'm sure which one it was though. But basically it was, you had this school system where it was pushing CRT in that school, and it was like a middle school, whatever the case be. And you had this small group of young black males taking white kids away from where they were out at recess at into some like corner or whatever the case be, and basically forcing the kids to bow down to like black supremacy, essentially is what it was, dude. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? It's just insane, is what it is. And again, it's the people that are pushing this shit are pushing it based on the Rules for Radicals books, based on the Marxist indoctrination of Karl Marx, etc. And when you finally realize that, you realize these ideologies that people are pushing, and you realize that it's not worth it to debate them, is what it is most of the time. And like I said, I wasn't even trying to debate that Ford guy, dude. I was asking him a simple question. I was expecting a simple answer. He gave me some BS fucking thing, is what it was, about the General Assembly makeup of Alabama. I called him out, and then I was like, that's not the question I was asking you, dude. Well, I shouldn't say question. Not the questions I was asking you. I was asking you about firearms deaths by suicide and the thing about the other thing. And I think if I'm not mistaken, he actually did reply back at one point after I blocked him or whatever, and he claimed it was like 50-50 or whatever the case be, which I'm going to call bullshit on that one. And I may actually do another grandstand at one point here in the future where I actually look up Alabama's stats for the last couple of years. Here's what it is. And maybe specifically the 2019 stat there, and see if I can't find do my own research for a couple hours of what it is then, and actually find the statistics and stuff for that is what it is, for how many actually were firearms related deaths in the state of Alabama by suicide and stuff like that versus homicide rates and stuff like that, and specifically homicide rates in these Democrat run cities is what it is then. So that being said though, I'm not gonna lie, dude, I am pretty lazy when it comes to my autism and stuff like that. So I don't know if I really want to do that much work about the whole thing, but like I kind of feel like I need to at this point, honestly, just for my own peace of mind is what it is, you know. Like it's kind of like it's gnawing at the back of my mind now of like I kind of want to know what those stats are legitimately now, dude. Like the exact fucking stats is what it is. So anyway, actually, let me go. Well, I'm here. Actually, let me look that up and see if I can't find something about that then. So let me see here. Alabama crime. Let's see. Firearms deaths 2019 by suicide versus homicide. Okay, so here we go. We got the Educational Fund to Stop Gun Violence. That sounds like some leftist run organization, honestly, dude. Yeah, I'm not sure if I really trust that one, honestly, dude. Like, I feel like that's not going to give me the number, or not going to give me the answer I actually want there. But yeah, this is what I looked when I looked up that suicide versus homicide. We got Alabama gun deaths 2019 by the Educational Fund to Stop Gun Violence. That sounds like a Bloomberg fucking related org or something, probably. We got Pew Research Center. We got gun violence in Alabama from every stat. It sounds like every town stats is what it is, probably, most likely. I'm going to click on that just from, yep, I was right. Fucking every town, dude. And this is the thing, right? These are the ones you can never actually believe because they're going to make up some shit on them is what it is then. So yeah, I will never fucking trust anything from every town is what it is, dude, because they're a bunch of damn liars is what ends up being then. So, and they'll never actually give you the real stats there of what, well, maybe they do actually. Let me see here now. So, let's see, 2011 to 2020. Let's see. Gun rate suicides increased 18% and gun homicides. Okay, so see, that's the thing, right? So they're saying suicide supposedly 18 and then gun homicides 100% compared to 12% and 70% nationwide. I don't believe that at all, dude. I don't believe that one at all. So, yeah, that definitely, let's see. So you have the pie chart. Okay, so here we go. So you got gun deaths by intent. Alabama, 51% of gun deaths are suicides. 45% are homicides, according to every town. Interesting. So you have 6%. So okay, so they're up here on this stat, right? Which some people are going to basically leave at is what it is. They'll like, this is what happens to the left is what it is. Do when they come to debates and stuff like that. They'll come up here and be like, "Oh, look, the suicide rate increased by 18% and homicides by 100%," and they just believe that shit and then never actually go further down is what it is. Where then it says 51% are by suicides, 45% by homicides. And then it is 2% unintentional, 1% undermined, 1% shootings by police. So I don't know if I believe that statistic or not, dude, but I mean, it does sort of mesh with what I was assuming it would be, which is about half for suicides is what it is then. Because when we look at the national average, that's about what it is. Actually, it might be more than half now I'm thinking about it. There's suicide. I think national average actually for gun deaths in this country is more like 66, 67% by suicide. And most of them are actually by veterans of this nation, people that went and fought in these wars and stuff like that for resources and shit. Or, bankster wars, whatever they were after 9/11 and things. And they come back, they're all PTSD'd out, etc. And then they kill themselves by a firearm, usually by their service weapon is what it is in most cases, which is almost always a handgun. So, anyway. Let's see. And then they try to make it what's interesting, if you go further down here, they actually try to make it about race then. So, actually, that is interesting. So, okay. So, Bloomberg, who loves to make it about race because he was a stop and frisk guy there in New York and stuff like that. So let's go further down this every town thing here, man, just to show what these leftists love to show here. It's okay. So you got gun suicides, suicide attempts. See, every year, average 502 people in Alabama die by gun suicide. 102 are wounded by gun suicide attempts. 10.7 suicides, 2.1 suicide attempts per 100,000 people. Alabama has the 8th highest rate of gun suicides and gun suicide attempts in the United States, according to Bloomberg. Here's what it is. So that's interesting, dude. If that rings true, actually, so that guy that's sitting there trying to claim it's like the 5th in gun crime or whatever the case be, or in gun deaths or whatever, doesn't mention how it's the 8th highest in suicides. So, yeah. So yeah, fuck you, Ford. Anyway, we might actually, I'm thinking about making that series now. Just called "Fuck You, Ford." At this point, it's just like "Fuck You, Ford." We say at least once an episode now. Anyways, fucking anti-gunner, leftist. Anywho, but yeah, then it actually talks about. Let's see. goes on to the other things here and stuff, and it okay, there we go. This is probably the stat that Ford guy claimed here was the Bloomberg stat here, where it says Alabama has third highest rate of gun homicides and gun assaults in the U.S., which I think he said fifth, so that might have been slightly outdated then. This is probably the Bloomberg one for now is what it would be, I'm guessing. And then there's where it talks about gun homicides by race, ethnicity in Alabama, and it shows you there the statistics and stuff like that, where it's the different races and things. And interesting, right there, the red one that is top of the thing, which is black. And then we got American Indian / Native American, which would be this 4.2% one. You got Latina, or sorry, it should be Latina / Latino, which they call Latinx, which is absolute bullshit. That's a made up fucking word. It's Latino / Latina, bro. Which would be 4.8%. And then we have, pretty sure that those other two are white and Pacific Islander, and they make up no percent of this. So, not sure. But that's interesting, though, that you have that high of like a crime statistic, 27% for, black race and stuff like that, which is most likely like black and black crime is my guess in most cases. So, anyway. Let's see, then you got intimate partner homicides by race, ethnicity in Alabama, according to Bloomberg here, which is American Indian is apparently the highest in this one, followed by black people. So interesting. Yeah, interesting to look at the Everytown stat. There's what it is. So, like I said, I wasn't even trying to look at Everytown's what it was, but it's interesting that it gives it to me about like 50% homicides what it is then. Let's go and look up the educational fund thing here and see what they come up with for their statistic is what it is here. Let's see. Okay, right there again. Okay, so it basically lines up with Bloomberg. That's what it is, dude. 50% suicide comprised half of all gun deaths in Alabama. 45% homicides comprise more than 2 in 5 gun deaths. So yeah, so you got 50% homicide, 45%, or sorry, 50% suicide, 45% homicide. So you got homicides are 5% less than suicides by firearms death in Alabama. Okay, this is definitely where that guy got it from. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely where the Ford guy got it from, with Alabama being so-called fifth gun death in the country in 2019. So again, actually, you know what? We're going to use this. We're going to use this. We're going to go ahead and tweet this shit out right now, dude, because we're going to again call out Ford's fucking lies then on that one, dude. Right now, dude. Do this shit in real time right now. Right now while we're filming this is the live stream. And you can see that we are not a bot on Twitter. There, where are we at now? Home. Oh, don't really want to show that. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have anything that we couldn't show on there. So we'll just show Vivek's little speech. Here's what it is for him. I don't know. This guy kind of has me like twisted a little bit. This Ramaswamy guy. Like he's saying all the right things, it seems like, but like, I don't know. I just feel like he's Obama 2.0 at this point, man. Like I don't want to be betrayed again, is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd like to say I'm on Team Vivek at this point, but I'm not. It's like I'm old enough to remember being betrayed like multiple times in my life by presidential candidates and stuff, dude, that I don't really want to like get behind like some rando guy like this and then have him fucking stab me in the back too, is what it is. So anyway. See how many hours now. Leftist lies. All right. So that's good to go then. And as you guys can see, we are not a bot account here at the network. We are, in fact, a real person, being me, posting that shit. But anyway, let's see what Vivek was saying here about 6 hours ago. Let's see. So, nuclear family is the best form of governance known to mankind, not the state. 25% of kids in America, or 70% of black kids, don't have a dad in the house. Dude, you are straight up stealing my platform, Vivek. Fuck you, bro. I have been calling out fatherless homes for over 4 years now, buddy. I have been running for office on the whole fatherless homes platform. I literally said to you, are you going to, seriously, I feel like this guy is just stealing my shit to run on this platform is what it is, dude. Because I called his ass out like 2 weeks ago about it, and I said, are you going to address the fatherless homes issue, which is a root cause in most cases of this whole thing, of everything we're seeing here? And that's exactly what he's talking about right there, dude. Where he's talking about fatherless homes stuff. See, it's that one of BLM's self-stated goals was to tear down the nuclear family structure. That is true, by the way. And that's one thing that's interesting. We look at the BLM organization and stuff like that. They actually had that on their website for a little bit of time, and then they hid it from everybody as what it was then. So, anyway. Let's see what's Vivek saying then here. He said, one of BLM's self-stated goals was to tear down nuclear family structure. Tells you how much they care about black lives. Exactly, dude. Exactly. Well, and that was the whole point, too. It wasn't really to tear down the nuclear family structure. It was to restructure the nuclear family. It was to get rid of fathers in the homes is what it was. And basically have 2 mom households is what it ended up being then. So, yeah. Interesting. Like I said, I feel like this Vivek dude is very, very much like, he could be a good guy, honestly. I feel like he is a good guy, truthfully speaking. I just don't know. Like I said, man, I've been snowed so many times in the past. It's just like hard to know like who's on the level and who's not. And like the fact that I've heard stuff about the guy possibly having ties to World Economic Forum and shit, I'm just like, I really don't want another globalist in power is what it is, man. And he might not be, honestly. Like, he might be on the fucking level, but I don't know. Like, the fact that he made his money on big pharmaceutical companies and stuff, and the fact that he's also a year younger than I am, and he looks way the fuck older than I do is what it is for some reason, is like, bro, like, really? Like, you're only 37 years old? Jesus. So, and that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like if he had done, like, the Obama thing where it was like, let me go to the U.S. Senate for like a term or something like that, and then just jump in the race in like 2028. Like that would have been the way to go, I think, honestly. Or it would have been like a 2/3 term fucking senator, whatever the case be, and then runs for president and shit. So, anyways, somebody just did something here. I'm not sure if they retweeted my shit or what the hell happened there. Oh. I can't remember. That was somebody else talking about me. I was talking about the whole thing with the gun control thing earlier with Alabama and stuff. So, what the fuck? Oh, shit. These people said, why you should never park near a fire hydrant. The fire department busted out these people's back windows to shove their hose through to get to the actual fire hydrant so they could fight a fire is what it was. Yeah, not a smart move on that person's part, man. Plus, they're going to be catching charges now at some point because they were illegally parked in front of a fire hydrant then. So you got the cops basically ticketing for that then if that be the case. So, yeah, not a good thing at all, man. Well, we're still here, actually. Let's talk about gun stuff for a few minutes, and then we'll finish off with that. And I got a few things I got to do now with the game I play is what it is. Which, by the way, is why I didn't have enough time to really fuck around with that Ford guy earlier, is because I was actually trying to game stuff and whatnot. But, yeah, let's go ahead and read what the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus said here. So you got this Frederick Mallow, reporter guy, saying St. Paul mayor and 3 city council members author a requirement that would require you to store your guns securely and separately from your ammunition. And that's how you die in a home invasion, guy, by the way. Let's see. And then the Minnesota Governor's Caucus said this proposed ordinance violates Minnesota's state preemption law. Same thing with what they did here with the mag ban in Columbus, by the way. It violates Ohio state preemption law. Still doesn't matter what the fucking Democrats do because they're still trying to enact it come July 1st. And that's why I want to see the shit out of Mayor Ginther and a shitload of fucking Columbus City Council members right now. But unfortunately, I don't have the money to do so. So if you want to fund the network and you want to fund our efforts to actually sue anti-gunners, then please do. And we can get these done, man. So anyway. I will give you an address to send any money to is what it does then. Checks, cash, whatever the case be. Maybe I'll just create like a Cash App thing or Venmo or something like that maybe. So, anywho. But yeah, he says Governor's Caucus there says breaks Minnesota state preemption law and the core holding of the U.S. Supreme Court in Heller. We will be there to oppose this change and are consulting with counsel to litigate if it is enacted. That's exactly, by the way, what you need to be doing right there, dude. Anytime any of these fuckers break preemption law, you sue the fucking shit out of them is what it is. And the big thing there, and like I've said, you don't need to just sue the city of St. Paul, dude. You need to sue the fucking piece of shit mayor by name and these fucking asshole members by name. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and suggest that to the Minnesota Governor's Caucus, dude. You do the way of lawsuits, bring individual. Yeah, I think I spelled that. Yeah, I spelled one too many V's, and that's what it was. Individual lawsuits against the mayor and city council members by name, not just sue the city. So many before. Because that's the thing right there, right? Like, this is how we got to deal with this shit going forward, man. You have to fucking start suing these people by name, these mayors, these city council members, etc. Because if you don't, they're just going to do it again and again and again and again and again, over and over and over again. That is a nice looking fucking combo right there. Oh, never mind. That's the 5.7. I was thinking that was one of the PSA daggers that Guns and Gear was talking about earlier here. Yeah, it's an AR and a PSA AR and a what is it, a Rock Island 5.7 combo. Or maybe it's the PSA Rock combo. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know if that's PSA made or if it's some other company made, but whatever. It's basically a 5.7 handgun and like a 5.56 AR is what it would be then. So I wouldn't mind that AR, but I would want like a PSA dagger or something with it in that combo for that price. Not something that I don't shoot a caliber of, because I don't know if you all pay attention to 5.7 ammo lately, dude, but holy fuck, that is way expensive. Like, and the real problem is nobody really makes it. What it is. There's like one company that makes it, and I believe it's like Federal or whatever, and it's a couple different brands is what it ends up being in their thing. And like nobody else really makes it except for them is what it is then. I think maybe Remington or maybe Winchester got into it now as like a second company. But yeah, there's like maybe two companies entirely in this country right now that actually produce 5.7 ammunition then. So good luck getting a good price for it, man. It's not going to happen. And I think that's the problem. Like that's one thing I would love to see when it comes to guns like that, is see a gun company that would make something like that, but they would make it with like an extra barrel and an extra mag or something that would come with it, to where you could like do like a mag/barrel changes what it would be, and it would still function properly then. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, 5.7 technically, because that would be, I feel like, I'm pretty sure 5.7 is like a neck down 5.56 maybe, or pretty close to it, calibration wise. So I would think, honestly, you could probably, I don't think you can really, I don't really know if there's any semi-autos really chamber 357 Magnum, because I was going to say, I was trying to think of like a barrel length that would be about the same as what would be there. Well, obviously, that would be different barrels would be though, but like, length of cartridge wise, what I'm talking about there is what it would be then. So, I mean, maybe you could neck that down to like 9 mil or 40 or something. Maybe I'm not sure. I don't know. Either way, it's one of those things where it's like I like the concept of it. Obviously, I just don't like when you are trying to sell something and then it's basically a situation where it would force the people that are buying it into a new caliber, number one, and a new caliber that's going to be so expensive they maybe have a couple boxes of it in the day, where it's like maybe a loaded mag or something, and then it's like an extra box or something sitting around, and that's about it then. Or it might be they just have that one box or something, and like half of it's in a loaded mag in the gun, and the other half's just sitting in the fucking box for however long then. So it's like basically 50 rounds of ammunition and a gun. It would be, and that doesn't work, man. That's no bueno. That's basically, by the way, the basic bitch gun owner in this country, where it's somebody that buys a fucking firearm and then claims I'm a gun owner too, and then they buy a gun, a box of ammo, throw both into a sock drawer or something like that. Never go out to the range, never shoot them, never do anything. Maybe they've shot, if they've shot at all, they've shot it once or twice. Maybe they put a mag through it at most, and then threw it back into that drawer, never cleaned it, etc. And it's just sitting there collecting dust for years until something goes off, something pops off, like a 2020 riot or something, you know. And then they're like, "Oh shit, got to arm up now. What'd you do with the handgun, bro?" And then they go and search out the guns. What it would be? It's kind of like how the old cul-de-sac commandos there in 2020 with I'm trying to think what his name was, the husband and wife, where she was holding like the 380 and he was like holding an AR. Neither one of them were loaded, and her handgun, the trigger was messed up in it, or not trigger, the trigger pin, um, where you actually had to have the cops disassemble that whole thing to make it functionally be able to fire again because of a prop gun for like some movie set or something. And his AR didn't have anything in it, dude. So yeah, if those BLM terrorists, dude, that really wanted to terrorize those guys that day, like holy shit, bro. Oh my god, that would have worked out so badly for them, man. Because you would have had dude holding an empty AR, you would have had wife holding an empty 380 handgun, and they would have been fucking. Oh man, I can't even think how badly that could have gone right now. It's just like just picturing in my mind how bad that could have gone for those two. And if I'm not mistaken, that was actually in St. Louis, Missouri as well. And they tried to get and the fucking piece of shit Soros DA there tried to prosecute them over that whole thing. And then they rightfully got their shit back now, is what it was. And never got charged. And I believe he actually was trying to run for U.S. Senate, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he ever won, though, is what it was. So, but yeah, very interesting either way. So, let's see. Huh. I did not know this. That's interesting. This guy was talking about Keanu Reeves here. Maybe that's what we'll finish off today, actually, with this Keanu Reeves story here. A little heartfelt story here. See, Keanu Reeves, he was abandoned by his father at 3 years old and grew up with 3 different stepfathers. He is dyslexic. His dream of becoming a hockey player was shattered by a serious accident. His daughter died at birth. His wife died in a car accident. Jesus Christ, buddy. God damn. I thought this was gonna be an uplifting story. Shit. Like that is the worst fucking like downgrade to an uplifting story I've ever started out with there, bro. But anyway, let's go ahead and finish this off though. His best friend, River Phoenix, died of an overdose. God damn, bro, it's just getting worse, isn't it? His sister has leukemia. Jesus. I thought this was again, I thought this was supposed to be an uplifting story, bro. Damn. Anyway. So with everything that happened to him, Keanu Reeves never misses an opportunity to help people in need. When he was filming the movie The Lake House, he overheard the conversation of 2 costumes assistants. One cried because he would lose his house if he did not pay $20,000. And on the same day, Keanu deposited the necessary amount into the woman's bank account. Said he also donated stereo something or other sums to hospitals. I don't know exactly what that word is. Look up that phrase right now. Okay, so basically, it's basically like high sums of money is what they're talking about there. Let's see. In 20, okay, so basically it's starting to get more uplifting after this dude. All the terrible shit at first there. Let's see. In 2010, on his birthday, Keanu Reeves walked into a bakery and bought a bruschetta. What the fuck? I think that's some kind of weird donut or something. I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's like a piece of bread or something. Okay. So bread and a single candle, ate it in front of the bakery and offered coffee to people who stopped to talk to him. After winning astronomical sums for the Matrix trilogy, the actor donated more than $50 million to the staff who handled the costumes and special effects, the true heroes of the trilogy, as he called them. He also gave a Harley Davidson to each of the stunt doubles, a total expense of several $1,000,000, and for many successful films, he has even given up to 90% of his salary to allow the production to hire other stars for the movies. In 1997, some paparazzi found him walking one morning in the company of a homeless man in LA, listening to him and sharing his life for a few hours. Most stars, when they make a charitable gesture, they declare it to all the world and media. Said Reeves has never claimed to be doing charity. He simply does it as a matter of moral principles and not to look better in the eyes of others. This man could buy everything, and instead, every day he gets up and chooses one thing he cannot be bought: to be a good person. And that's the picture of him eating that little donut or whatever it was there. So, yeah, good guy, Keanu Reeves, dude. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, dude. If Keanu Reeves came up to me today and turned water into fucking wine, I would be like, "You, sir, are the second coming of Jesus Christ, and I am your first disciple at this point." Because honestly, that's the kind of shit that somebody would do. That would be the second coming of Jesus. They wouldn't make it all about themselves. They wouldn't make it all about anything at all, dude. They just do good stuff, is what it is. So, anyway, am I saying Keanu Reeves is Jesus? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is he's a good dude, is what it is, though. And that's what we need more in this country, dude. We need more good men out there. We need more good women out there as well. And, be a good person is what it is, dude. Don't be a leftist douchebag like that Ford guy we talked about through all this episode is what it is. Don't make up fake fucking stats. Don't make up half-ass stats. Don't fucking claim that you're about not spreading disinformation while spreading disinformation, buddy. That's, by the way, if you look at that guy's account, that Ford dude that I was talking about there, I think if I'm not mistaken, his whole handle thing there specifically says something about like basically dealing in information, not disinformation or something like that. And it's like, bro, you are only dealing in disinformation at this point, dude. You are only doing this leftist fucked up like half-wit bullshit where you're cutting off half the information needed to actually do a full accurate depiction of things. I've been able to call you out twice now in the past hour, just sitting here doing this grandstand today on your bullshit, dude. Like, that's how fucking ridiculous you are, dude. Where you make up lies and then you think people are going to call you out on your bullshit is what it is, man. So, yeah, if you came back to the network, dude, and you looked at our tweets and stuff, you see our tweets in the last hour and stuff, dude, and it would be about your dumbasses, what it would be. So, you are the leftist we're referring to, buddy. But anyway, yeah, Keanu Reeves is a good guy. I like Keanu Reeves. He seems like one of the few people in Hollywood that actually gives a shit. And unfortunately, I honestly wish one thing Keanu Reeves should do, and I would like to see happen, would be start calling out the pedophiles in Hollywood by name at this point. I think the only reason he hasn't is because he either maybe doesn't know who's actually molesting kids there 100%, or he doesn't want to get sued maybe, or it could be even the fact that he knows if he does call them out, just like everybody else, he'll basically be blacklisted by Hollywood would be at that point, which again, you have so much fucking fame and everything else like that now, dude. People would never let you get canceled at this point. I would never let you get canceled at this point. Like, you would have the American people support you 100% of the time, dude. Nothing else. We would fucking fund the counter lawsuits for you against these fucking people, dude, that are trying to sue you for, slander, defamation, etc. there, because we know for a fact they are the ones, doing the child rape and stuff like that in Hollywood as it would be. So, yeah, I really wish Reeves would do that. I wish other people would do that as well at this point, but unfortunately, that's them's the breaks is what it is, and you really don't have people doing what need to be done to do what needs to be done is what it is, though. Actually, since we were on the whole subject earlier about the whole race thing, is what it is, dude. People trying to make it about race every single time they're leftists and shit, dude. Another person that tries to make it about race that is a leftist, dipshit Pete Buttigieg here. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. I thought I was grabbing the right one there. No, I was grabbing the actual StreamYard link there. Yeah, this idiot Pete Buttigieg blames. He was okay. Never mind. This is a different one. Yeah, so he was talking to Al Sharpton and was trying to claim that fucking black people dying in car accidents is like a big killer of like minorities now or something like that, and it's like an uptick in rise and stuff like that. It's like, you were a fucking idiot, buddy. Seriously. As much as I hate Nina Turner, because I fucking hate Nina Turner, dude. Like, she is a commie piece of shit for Bernie Sanders, a surrogate for that asshole, and then some, and tries to make it about fucking all that shit like that all the time. Always make it about race or, Democrat stuff or whatever the case be. Even she has a problem with Pete Buttigieg now, dude. And that's the thing. It's like, it's one of those things where like, my enemy of my enemy is still my enemy, but we can agree on some things sometimes is what it is. Like, yeah, Pete is a fucking clown, dude. And as Nina even called him out on that one, and she said specifically, there is no greater example of anybody falling up in politics than Pete Buttigieg's ass, dude. And she's right about that one. Because how the fuck do you go from being a failed mayor of a small town in South Bend, Indiana, where you were trying to racially divide the fucking town down the middle pretty much, where you got the right side of the tracks and the wrong side of the tracks. And this is what Pete Buttigieg did, by the way, when he was mayor there of South Bend. He split the shit down the middle. There was a train track in like the middle of town or whatever the case be. On the one side of the track was pretty much every minority in the fucking town. On the other side, it was all gentrified for basically gay white people is what it was, dude. And it was just ridiculous is what it was, dude. Like, it was 100% like him just trying to racially divide the fucking entire city there. And it's why you had him lose re-election there, because you had all these minorities calling him his bitch ass out and been like, we ain't voting for you, motherfucker. And actually, I remember there was a funny one. This was back in, when was it? Like the end of 2020, maybe? Because I'm trying to remember when Pete was running for it might have been 2021 actually when he was running for re-election there. So this was back in like 2019 or early 2020 before lockdown stuff or whatever. He had gone back to, yeah, I think that's what it was. He was on the campaign trail when he was still running for president at the time. And he had gone back to South Bend because there was some shooting by the cops of like some black kid or whatever it was. And so he was basically there acting in the mayoral capacity and stuff like that, like trying to do like a whole thoughts and prayers thing is what it was. And he could have just basically left it alone and been like, yeah, I'm over here doing my thing, whatever the case be, trying for president and shit. Like, I'm going to make a statement here and just let the lieutenant mayor or whatever, or vice mayor, or whatever it be there, handle it then. Instead, he went back there and was basically trying to make it out himself then as a campaign stop, essentially, what it ended up being. And there was a black woman there who called his ass out and was like, why the fuck are you even here, dude? Like, go take your ass back to the campaign trail or something like that. That's what she said to him. And he's like, ma'am, I don't want your vote. And she's like, good, because you're not going to get it. It's like, yes, thank you. Like, that is what cost that motherfucker the mayor's race like a year later then. And again, dude, like, this is what needs to happen more with these fucking asshole Democrats like that, dude. It needs to be the left eating itself at that point, man. So, yeah, it's just funny. But then, of course, you got dipshit Pete being given the fucking transportation secretary role by Biden, even though the role of transportation secretary by default should be an actual elected position in this country. And that's my biggest problem with everything right now in this country, honestly, dude, when it comes to political power in this nation. You have a dude who is running for president. What the fuck was that? I think there's I don't know what the hell that was. Something just like buzzed around me. Probably another one of those damn stink bugs. I cut about 7 of those this past week or so in the house. But anyway, just trying to make sure there's nothing on my shoulders right now. There was one crawling on my arm earlier today that I had to kill. But yeah, so anyway, going back to Pete though. So you have somebody running for president, right? Who gets to pick all these cabinet positions and stuff like that are then, sworn in by the U.S. Senate is what it is, and like some kind of Senate hearings is what it ends up being, which is absolute bullshit because they should be done by the American people. Transportation Secretary, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Defense, all that stuff like that should all be elected offices, dude. And it should be the people who are most qualified for them should be the ones holding those positions of power and should actually be the ones that are the only ones that are running then. Like, for instance, if you're going to be a transportation secretary, you should have to have some kind of role in transportation before that, whether it be a longshoreman or whatever the case be, or trucking industry or whatever the case be then. And these people don't have that thing, and that's the problem right now. So anyway, that's about it for the day, though. We'll be back again at some point in the future. Other than that, that's where we're at right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll be back later tonight with Honda and the company. Till later. I'll see you guys in the next one.